you're doing well no matter where you are on this beautiful June 18th afternoon. And it's been great here at the facility. The team and I have been just building things like crazy. And it's just been good. It's just been good. So nonetheless, hopefully you are very safe and healthy wherever you are, having a lot of fun with your cause, no matter where you are on the planet. And here in the facility, we've been just, as I mentioned earlier, just been going crazy, and I appreciate all of you for joining me. I have quite a few opportunities for interaction with all of you. I have you on Instagram, I have you on YouTube, and also you on TikTok. While I'm also gathering data through the popular podcast networks, whether you're looking at Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor, you name it, we are there. Just do a search for Bisimoto and we are good to go. Hello, Carols and Pix. Hopefully you're doing well. Hola, Daniel Hanskorf. Thank you for joining this Tuesday afternoon. Hello, once again, Carols and Pix. Matt Mercer is not hearing sound. Let me know if you guys are hearing sound properly. If not, I'll go to Instagram and come back in again. Just let me know. Let's see here. 4W for the win. Thank you so much for joining. Leave the man alone. No oil comments. No oil up comments, says BRZ Rock. I don't know what that means. Cindy 714. For those of you who do know Cindy, wonderful individual. I love her very much. She hired me into Pharma years ago and has been a good friend and advocate ever since. She's a hardcore scientist, comes from a scientific family. I love her very much. She's always been there for me. Thank you for joining indeed, Cindy. Banzai 888. Greetings. How are you? Hopefully you're doing well. Pablo, how do you say your name probably? Pablo 941. Forgive me, hopefully I didn't mess it up. Audio is good, says Joe Love. Thank you, Jelua Love. Appreciate that indeed. Dying 6 Misery. Thank you for joining indeed. Oh, BC the Goat, says Jake Bobcat on TikTok. Thank you so much. Is that the Honda wagon in the back, says Micaiah Carey. Cool name, 571. Yes. That is the Bisimoto wagon right there in the back in all its glory. Kovolt is here on YouTube, says we are in here. Thank you so much for tuning in, Kovolt. For those of you who do not know him, he's a fellow engineer, very astute builder, putting together this wonderful Corvette EV, which I love so much. Good seeing you, sir, and hopefully we get to see each other firsthand soon. Good afternoon from Whistler, Canada, says Gasket Heads. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. The best is yet to come. Where's the van from Fastest Car? Asked Smog Tech Auto Repair ? At my residence. So it's still alive and well, plugging along after being built for America Honda in 2013. Makes 200, it took about 7 weeks to build. Start off making 214 horsepower, initially factory. We're done, we got to 1029. With full build stuff. We have some upgrades with Garrett on the turbocharger, running on E85, 6-speed transmission. It's really fun. I don't daily drive, Jake, the Odyssey. What I drove today was my slammed Model 3 on bags. This is what I drove. Loved your headers in the 2000s, says Dave 3S. Yeah, we were just talking about that. The team and I were looking last week when Mark came by and brought some jigs on the headers that we had for the D series, the B series, the H series, and F series. Lots of fun indeed. Let's see here. Let's see a B58 build, says AWD M240i. It totally depends on BMW. A lot of the builds you see here, even surrounding me here, whether it's on the Porsche side, the Honda side, the Hyundai side, is because of the relationship I have with the OEMs. Unfortunately, or fortunately, because there's an opportunity, I don't have a relationship with BMW. So hopefully that can change very soon. Kovolt says, oh yeah, will you be at Electrify Expo in San Francisco this year, or is that the same weekend as something else? There is a conflict for us for Electrify Expo in San Francisco, but I'll see what I can do to get there. I'll keep you posted, Kovolt, and if so, it'd be great seeing you there. I heard that the San Francisco one is quite the place to be, and for those of you who don't know about Electrify Expo, think of it as the SEMA for everything electrified. Whether it's electrified vehicles, scooters, bikes, e-bikes, you name it. It is kind of the place to be, whether you're a big hardcore EV enthusiast or you're EV curious, you should check it out. It really changed my mind when it came to e-bikes. And you can have demos, you drive your own cars and get lots of goodies and swag. And it's just very educational with some nice talks there as well, some custom setups. It's just like a hot and port nights for EVs. How about that? During the day. BC is a goat, says Shady EM1. Thank you so much for sharing that. I appreciate that indeed. Jeannie Kelly is here. Jeannie, very good friend of ours. I knew her when she was out here in LA. I think now she's in Texas. Jeannie, it's so good to see you here on our feed on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining, for all your support and advocacy, because I've known you for over 20 years. How crazy is that? All right, let's see here. Dayton Area Car Talk reporting in, which I love so much. What's up, BC? Nothing special, just working away, taking some time away from the team and working to come and interact with all of you. Did you get a chance to watch Le Mans? I saw part of it. So my girl Jessica and I were watching a little bit of it, but then I kind of tuned to something else. So I didn't have the chance to watch it. So forgive me indeed. Hopefully I can catch up on it when it has some reruns. Texas Car says, hi BC, with the Models S that's going for around 25K. That's a great price. Is there any mods that can take it to the next level, if not a performance model? So here's the challenge. So what Texas Cars is asking, that he's interested in a Tesla, factory street faring Tesla, and he's asking are there mods that you can do to the, to that particular Model S without going to the performance model, which performance S is a lot of fun. They can run 10s. The Plaid, Model S can do 9s, but the base, whether it's the 75D, standard 75, 65, whatever the case may be, which kind of denotes how much of the battery pack kilowatt hours exists for range and whatnot. What I can share with you is, yes, you can modify the controller and inverter to get more power. The bad thing about that is that Tesla does frown upon that. So one thing that a lot of people know and some people don't know is that with Teslas, you're continuously updated and tethered to the mothership. And what that means is as the Tesla engineers work away and find ways to make the driving experience better, safer, more exciting, with some Easter eggs during the holidays and so on and so forth, they tend to send updates often to the Teslas, over-the-air updates, that is, which I don't see with Honda, I don't see that with Hyundai, I don't see that with Porsche. You have to go to dealership to get updates, but with Tesla, they have over-the-air updates through either LTE or even through your Wi-Fi. Now, when they find out that you've modified your performance of the vehicle using a modification to the vehicle control unit or to the inverter, they immediately slap you down. You have a crazy red screen. So it's either you're okay with certain updates and you do your modifications. There are companies that allow you to flash the factory VCU to do mods and make it go faster. You can do that and not worry about updates at all. I love updates, so I love getting those. Or you can do everything you can above and beyond modifying the vehicle control unit, which is like lightening the vehicle, putting some lighter seats, which I did on my Plaid, putting lighter wheels, which I did courtesy of Unplugged Performance, putting stickier tires, lighting up any rotating mass, just make it lighter, make it look really cool, lighter bumpers, lighter trunk, carbon fiber hood, things like that. You can do that, and weight is the enemy of performance. So just like with my blue drag car over there, the one thing that made it very fast, yes, the power was important, but also lightening things, running Lexan, lightening the interior, taking all the accoutrements out that don't lend themselves very well to performance. Doing all that makes your car faster and more fun. But if you come to want to eke out more horsepower out of the motor itself, electric motor itself, you can, but be wary because Tesla does not like that at all. They get very upset and they kind of lock you down. So I hope that helps. Let's see here. The best just keeps getting better, says Gaska Heads, with your work, always progressing. Thank you so much. And that's something that the team and I have a lot of pride with. We have discussions in the back with Jonathan, Zach, and I talk about that quite a bit, about how we can continue to improve things, especially the things you don't see. There's pride and excitement that goes into laying a beautiful harness, doing some, nice welds, fabricating things that are so gorgeous, but unfortunately may never see the light of day because they're underneath the car or hidden, but there's pride in being able to do something and do it very well and improving consistently from a technology and aesthetic perspective. That's very important to us. And one thing is that if you ever, years from now, decades from now, generations from now, want to take apart a Bisimoto car, you want to be able to see that the work that we did is very nice inside and outside the car as well. So even though it's never to be seen, there's good pride and it's great. It's just fantastic indeed, Show the Porsche, says Shalud. I would love to. It's kind of hard. There's a Cayman twin turbo right there. I have a whole assembly here with 4 phones. It's kind of hard to kind of navigate things with lights. So forgive me. Maybe one day soon I'll do a shop walk around. But right now I kind of have to stay still. So please forgive me, the Shalud. Please do. Let's see here. Happy belated Father's Day to you, says Rude Ground 1. Thank you so much. Appreciate the kind words. Had a blast with the family on Father's Day. Yes, unfortunately, I did come to work for a brief period of time to set up a 3D print, but then I jetted out of here again and then enjoyed time with the family. So thanks for the kind words. Sad news about Fisker, says Banzai888. I hope not Michael Fisker himself. If it's the company, I heard they're having some challenges. Did see their display recently at Long Beach about 3 weeks ago, but please do share. I haven't seen any sad news about Fisker, and forgive me, I don't get really involved with news. Some of my people and friends and family laugh at me like, why don't you get involved in news and so on and so forth? I feel a lot of news is very negative, so I tend to stay on the positive side of life and kind of focus on those things. And because of that, many times I have blinders. I don't know what's going on around me, but I do focus on things that are positive because it is just so negative. But if you have any insights that's not so positive about Fisker, especially if it affects our technology, please let me know. Hey, Jess Wood. Hey, that's my good Jessica. She's an amazing person, an amazing addition to my life. Someone who's just been a fantastic supporter of everything that I've done in the past, future, and in the present. Care about it very much and looks out for me big time. Good day, BC. Hope all is well, says Dapper Dabber 710. Good seeing you as well. Appreciate you indeed. Jeannie on YouTube is saying, Texas is ready for you, BC. We'll see the fourth quarter in SoCal, my friend. I would love to see you as well, Jeannie. Jeannie's not the only person who's trying to get me to go to Texas. My good friend, the gentleman racer, Michael Satterfeld, is trying to get me to go there for a long time. If you see a lot of my t-shirt designs, Michael does that. He's always very connected with the Peterson. Got me a better relationship with those chaps. He has an agency where he does amazing things, creates amazing content here on Instagram. I think he does have a TikTok and YouTube channel as well. But he is also trying to get me to go to the College Station area. I have a very close friend of the family, NECA, who wants to get me to go towards Houston. I heard Texas is a great place, a lot more friendly when it comes to businesses. The one thing I did hear, Jeannie, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that property taxes in Texas are out of control. Very high. Let me know if that's true. I know we can get a lot more house for what we get here in California, but I heard that property taxes are just astronomical. Let me know. And you're a California girl, so let me know if it's also true that that in Texas, I guess fashion is not a big thing. They're not really fashion forward that much. Anyway, let me know. I'm curious. The Civic Wagon was next level, says Total Tech. Thank you so much. That's the second V2 right there. That one has a turbocharged K24Z7 block and a sequential gearbox, which is quite amazing indeed. It's lots of fun. I do need to tune that because it has a new turbo on it, but nonetheless, it's good. Hi, BC Greens from Cape Town, South Africa, says Aisha Dibe. How do you say that? Dibakwene. Was that Dibakwen? Hopefully I'm saying it properly. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you indeed from joining us all across the seas. Let's see, Zishan850 on YouTube is asking, great car name. This is my first Cayman ever. Has some nice Momo wheels on it, some Toyota tires. It's a twin turbo Cayman, made 450 horsepower forever. I built the engine and it has the capability of 4 digits now. It's a fuel standard upgrade and some intercooling from liquid to air. Previously air to air, and so yeah, it's a 2007 Cayman S right there in all its glory, you know? Bax, okay, Bax, thank you so much for joining from all across the globe. Appreciate you indeed. Aloha from Hawaii, says Maine Duane. Thank you so much, join. Car tour, I keep getting all these car tour desires from TikTok. Forgive me, my setup here is somewhat semi-stationary, so it's kind of hard for me to carry everything around, but I promise I would do an individual tour as soon as the team and I go crazy with some projects we have to get ready very soon. Bummer, love the BA platform, developing quickly. AWD M240i, I would love to do so much. I would love to, it's just time and support. Manufacturer support helps us a lot with resources, with technology, helps us a lot. If I need something as simple as schematics, I can get it from the engineers with the manufacturer. There's so many advantages to working with an OEM that the day BMW plays with us, I promise I'll build something old school and something new school and do some great things indeed. So please hang tight. Lovely day, great man. BC says Igbo Empire, happy Father's Day as well. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Igbo Empire is from my country where I'm from. I'm Igbo as a tribe person. We are the individuals who love academia, travel around the world, we assimilate to other cultures very nicely, and we just love to improve. So that being said, Igbo Empire, I appreciate all your efforts on social networks. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Lambda Menace is waving. Hello, Lambda Menace. I love this chap. This individual, who I had no idea Jonathan knew as well, is someone who is like a man after my own heart. And what I mean by that is a lot of my builds, like, you know, the center seat here, the Cayman there, my builds are pretty much very, how should I say, sterile, maybe too harsh a word, very OEM plus looking when it comes to aesthetics. Even when I build 935s, I tend to stay exactly with Porsche's ingredients and their mantra when it comes to that. But the technology, I tend to infuse tons of crazy technology. Like, for example, the M16 blue one, the Mexico blue one that's traveling around the country right now, has liquid air intercooling, drive-by-wire, a water-cooled engine out of a 996 twin turbo, 997 gearbox. It has all these newer technologies, but we kept it true to the 1980s Group 5 M16 look. We kind of updated the headlights a little bit, but it looks exactly how it would dimensionally and in terms of just aesthetics. So that being said, I love doing that. Lambda Menace takes it a step further. Just like me, he loves building crazy creations in technology, but when it comes to the aesthetics, he takes it the next level up and does it very elegantly as well. So it's all about modifying hoods, body panels, side skirts, wings, trunks, you name it, wheels, suspension. He does all that, and his cars tend to look the part and also be fast as well. So I appreciate your efforts, sir. Keep it going, and it's great seeing you at the most recent Field Fest. Destroy Racing, what's up to you? Thank you so much for joining. Let's see. May Duan says we have a 10-day cruise, late June, early July. You should come. It's called Cruise Paradise. Where is it? Let me know. If it's something car related, especially if it's a car cruise, I'm all down for it. I'm down for car cruises and rallies. I'm all for it indeed. Bring the wagon back out, says Phil Street. It's there. It's right there. The bad thing about where I reside, and Jeannie probably laughing at me, is in California, they're very strict with driving modified vehicles on the street. So that being said, that's the one thing that's kind of preventing me from taking kind of a track-based car like that and driving around the streets of LA. It's kind of pretty much frowned upon here in the greater LA area. BC, I'm planning to build a hybrid hypercar, which is cool. Can you suggest some open source high performance engines, please? So are you trying to combine a hybrid setup that's already existing, or are you trying to do your own thing? Because Shane, there are two things you can do, in my opinion. You can go with an integrated motor assist, very similar to what you may see with a Honda Insight, where there's a petrol power plant and a petrol gearbox, and in between, there's a electric motor, like a disc style looking electric motor that has a very high torque capability, will assist the motor as a hybrid. There's another way to do it where you can have a petrol engine driving a certain amount of wheels, and another electric motor driving the other set of wheels, similar to what you may see with the NSX, Acura NSX, most recent NC generation. So those are two different things. The biggest problem with hybrid setups, and that's, by the way, you can do it as a plug-in, you could do it as an assist where you have batteries and the petrol can charge up the batteries and all that fun stuff. You can do so many things. But those are kind of two major ways of engines that currently exist that you can play around with or do your own thing. The biggest challenge is in allowing them both to exist flawlessly. So you need an engine management solution where they both can work together. We can have the electric motor inverter and also the petrol control unit working very nice in unison. And from what I gather, and I don't know if this has come to fruition yet, the guys at Fuel Tech are actually having a good job in kind of making a singular controller that can control both the electric side and also the EV and the petrol side. So both hybrid systems, whether it's integrated or separately, to do that. If you plan on using a factory ECU and modifying it accordingly, it can be done. Like I mentioned, the Honda CRZ is an L series motor. The LEA1 is pretty much an L15 motor in dimensionally and everything else. You can do something like that, use the factory ECU, and then flash it using Honda and have some fun. But if you want to do something bespoke, like a Tesla drive unit with an LS petrol motor, then you can definitely hit up the guys from Fuel Tech and see if they have something that can work very well for you. Y'all Yeah, y'all have that state rep, says Mastin Dwayne. Yes, in California we do. But there's a bigger problem that we have, and it's the Environmental Protection Agency. The EPA is practically a nationwide entity that also comes down hard on shops that do modifications where you tamper with any emissions control equipment. So above and beyond anything that has to do with driving cars that are somewhat modified and no longer adhere to factory standards, whether it's California or anywhere else, the EPA can get you in a big amount of soup. Where's the Odyssey, says Jeremy Gates at the residence. Just mentioned that earlier on. Were you in the Netflix show? Yes, I was, Nicholas. Nicholas on TikTok. Yes, I am indeed. So thank you so much. Let's see. What's up, Destroyer Racing? Thank you so much for joining. Central Value Performance has Tesla mods. Bent Rod Crew, we do here too. We've done it all. As a matter of fact, we like the Tesla architecture, especially with the integrated inverter, motor, and transats. We like that as well. But taking a factory Tesla and flashing it for modification and continuing to do any type of updates through the mothership at Tesla, you will get shut down. Tesla will give you that little red screen of death, and you won't be able to drive your car properly or even be able to get any updates for you. You couldn't even supercharge. A lot of things that they just prevent you from doing. So when it comes to us, if you want to take a Tesla drive unit and put in, let's say, that bus, it's not a problem. You can do it. We are tethered to the mothership. You can drive around. You can have all kind of crazy things going on. And you have a separate AEM VCU controller. But to use a factory setup and keep it factory and flash it, you are asking for it indeed. BC, remember last 2 years ago, guys showed up in a U-Haul truck? I don't remember that. Showed up, was it here at an event? U-Haul truck? Let me know. Okay, let's see here. Hey, would you love to race a plaid one day soon? Says Evie Smoke Yet. I have raced it quite a bit. Not only did we do something with Carwow from the UK, Jonathan and I have gone about half a dozen times to Urbandale up here and done a lot of testing as we were testing products that we received from Unplugged. So yes, we've had the opportunity to race the plaid quite a bit. Oh, Banzai 888 says Fiscal 5 Chapter 11. That is so sad. Their Ocean SUV was pretty nice. It had some really good reviews from some very reputable journalists. It's sad to see they filed that. Hopefully, can pull through from that. That's really sad. You should build a Mini Cooper. Tony, F56, I totally would if BMW is part of our team. And once again, BMW does own the Mini brand. That'd be fantastic. I'll have no objection doing that. I just need a little bit of help, you know? Love watching you push the envelope, says Twitch Tesla. Keep it up, sir. Thank you so much. That's what we live to do. As a matter of fact, I promise you, the best is yet to come. No state rep here in Arkansas, says DA9s only. I believe you, but I bet you the EPA, if I go out there and start doing some crazy Bisimoto madness, they may come knocking at my shop. You know, Evans Tuning got hit down. They were back east. We have some friends in Colorado who also got hit as well. Diesel Brothers, they're not in California. They got smacked and fined by the EPA. We gotta be careful nowadays, guys. And that's why, one of the reasons why not only do I find performance EVs very appealing, I've been really moving towards that because I can drive around and have whatever fun I want without any problems whatsoever, you know? My U1Up on TikTok says, I remember you had an all-motor challenge on a D-Series motor. Do you have parts for me to upgrade? Yes, as a matter of fact, when it comes to D-Series, there's no facility on this planet that carries more forward-thinking D-Series parts than Bisimoto Engineering. The challenge you saw that was on Super Street years ago around the Castrol Syntec Challenge with a bunch of magazines was actually an F22A motor. So it's pretty much a D-Series all grown up. But yes, if you need any parts, write to us at sales@bisimoto.com. We can get you going. DA9s only says there's a guy out there with a 400 cubic inch small block Chevy stuffed in a Mini. That should be a blast. That would be sick and sound crazy too. So yeah, sounds good. You do good in Seattle, says Tony F56. Seattle for an event or Seattle for moving? Or Seattle for moving to shop to? Let me know. I know it rains a lot there. I loved racing in Kent, Washington. The track was awesome. It'll rain, then it'll dry out, and then we're out there having fun. And I know that's a very big tech area, so maybe I would. But let me know what you had in mind exactly, you know? Mike Rod 16 says, greetings from Miami. Mad respect for your builds and choice of cars. Thank you, Mike brother. Appreciate that. Once again, the best is yet to come. And I was in Miami earlier this year around the mid-February timeframe. Love going to Miami and wouldn't mind being out there soon as well. Bro, what's your profession? Says Zishan Self 850. I am an engineer by academia. Have a facility here where we start off designing and building cars for OEMs and also building parts as our team had easy access to cars pre-production. Then we started building cars for the major auto shows while also helping the automotive aftermarket with some high performance builds and also helping with building cars here at house for clients. And recently we've extrapolated our efforts to upcycling vehicles of classic historical significance like Porsche 911s, VW buses, Rolls Royces to EV. Not just regular putting around, moving around EVs. Look at us having an EV, but fun, scary stuff. Like how we have the twin turbo Porsches we used to build shooting flames or crazy Odysseys and wagons. We're doing the same thing with EVs and electric performance. So yeah, that's what we're doing right now. Are you on Twitch, says Eric R. I do have a Bisimoto Twitch handle. I haven't been on Twitch in a long time. That was courtesy of influence from my friends at Hoonigan, but I've not been on there in honestly months. So I do have one, but I've not been on there signed in for quite a while, you know? I want that VW bus, says Easy. I don't know if my client will let you take it. He's quite proud of that car. He's had it for a while. But I'll ask him, send us an email at sales@bisimoto.com and maybe we'll give you access to it if the guy is more than happy to part with it. Okay, let's see here. Which is your number one favorite build, says Mike Rod 16. Now that's a great question. And I tend to kind of break that into 3 parts. And I'll share with you what those 3 parts are. First, what is my favorite build that is the most popular? No matter what I build, people go crazy and just don't get enough of it. And it is my Odyssey, the Bisimoto 1000 horsepower Odyssey. We built in 2013, 1000 horsepower for American Honda. Was one of the most difficult builds I ever built. I got very sick building that. That car is my most popular because I guess people just relate and it's a Honda and it's cool and it's just very unique. And at this time, people were building performance vans at the time. So with exception of what some Ford is doing with super van, but for the average tuner, it just wasn't anything. Now, van culture is big, but then people thought it was stupid. As a matter of fact, we got shut down by American Honda initially, but one of the advocates there internally, Chris Martin, took it upon himself to like, hey, let's push this through and make it happen to see. And it helped Odyssey sales like crazy once it came out. So that's my number one because it's very popular and the popularity realm, that's it. When it comes to just a car that really scared me, but was really fun to drive, it was the Bisimoto IROC Porsche. It's a twin turbo Porsche that's blue with the crazy hips, sans any side skirts. It looks like an IROC natural aspirated car that I used to race out in Riverside Raceway in the 70s. It's amazing. I love that thing because it will kill you. It's a scary car, but also takes a lot of finesse to be able to enjoy it, which is great. So I love that car. It's really lots of fun. And my very first Porsche that I ever built was that indeed, which is really, really good. And the third one is one that really has changed my life significantly, which is the pink and gray K3V electrified Porsche 935. When I built this car, I hated building it. I didn't want anything to do with EVs. I thought EVs were horrible. I thought they were just for tree huggers and people who wore hemp sandals. I thought EVs were stupid and had no soul and just yuck. Like I didn't want anything to do with it. But I noticed that my friends, the OEMs, were building a lot of EVs, and if I want to keep working with them, I had to learn that technology. So I went ahead and reluctantly built that car, drove it for the first time, and just almost passed out. The speed, the sounds that come from it, because the compartment where the motor is and where I sit is all one compartment, so you hear everything. It has this crazy supercharger type gear whine. It is amazing. It's no lag, fast as all get out. I mean, it can smoke tires at freeway speeds. It's just amazing. And I don't have to worry about the cops hassling me. It's just a wonderful vehicle and it changed my mind. Overnight, I became a performance EV advocate because of that car. So it makes my number one. So Mike Rod, 16, I know it's a long answer to a short question, but the Odyssey, because of how popular it is, the scary nature of the IROC Blue Porsche, and then finally, last but not least, the K3V, because it really did change my life. So hope that helps. All right, let's see here. I feel like Porsche guys frown upon guys who modify their cars. They never like my car, says Dayton Area Car Talk. It depends. Now, there are two really factions of Porsche enthusiasts. One are the purists, and I have my reservations around the purists because I've never been a purist. Plus, a lot of purists do tend to love air-cooled Porsches. They love slant noses. They love 935s, which is weird because first, Ferdinand Porsche, the founder, was a huge tinker. He loved modifying and trying different things often. And that's why those cars continue to evolve during his lifetime and continue that ethos even though he's gone. Secondly, 935s, if you ever take them apart, they'll hack and modify to crazy. But then purists say that's the way it should be, but those ways that it should be actually came from modifications. So it's kind of weird. And then plus, I guess another faction is those guys who, I don't know if they really can afford the Porsches, so they want to keep their resale value. I don't get it. Then there's other division of Porsche enthusiasts who are hardcore, crazy modified guys. They race their cars, they modify them, they drop the motor, pistons, rods, turbo upgrades, intercooler. They don't care. If it's fast and it's Porsche, they love it. Those guys, they'll put another engine if they want to. And I love that. I try to keep mine as Porsche as possible, but on the same token, I have that mindset that the founder of Porsche had when it comes to modification and improving. So that being said, I'm all about that. Dayton Area Car Talk, keep doing what you're doing. Do it because it's what you want to do. That passion is there. And I'm telling you, there are other Porsche people who will love that. Love it. And I love it. And I'm a Porsche fan. So that being said, keep up the good work. Don't get dissuaded. Don't get discouraged at all. All right, let's see here. Do you like EJ motors? And I assume, Jeremy Gates, you mean the Subaru EJ Flat 4s. I'm okay with them. I think there are areas of opportunity in terms of oiling, but I'm a fan of flat motors. Flat 6s, flat 4s. I like the balanced nature of them. I like the sound of them. So that being said, I'm a fan of anything flat. Wherever you don't have those harmonics that destroy crankshafts, those fourth, fifth wave harmonics that exist in crankshafts that you see a lot with inline 4s, I'm not a big fan of harmonics, especially destructive ones. So yes, I do like EJ motors. I see there's some oiling. Maybe the perfect EJ for me would be one that's dry sumped. I guess that would be the perfect one for me, you know? I love you, BC, says, yeah, boy, too. Thank you so much. Back at you. Appreciate the kind words and the support. Pedro from TikTok says, BC, I've been following your builds for years. And that EF wagon from the crazy drag race, yes, it is. That's it right there, which is kind of sad. I wasn't there. I was actually at Electrify Expo in Austin when they did that drag race. And that car was set up initially for some very short 8-mile runs. We changed the gearing, didn't retune it, and they just grabbed it. And I'm like, man, all I had to do was raise the RPM limit for two-step, and that car would have just been bonkers. But I wasn't there. So we upgraded some turbos on it. And that being said, we will have the opportunity to, get some payback on that car very soon with a little bit of tuning, When's the last time you drove the wagon or the 1,000 horsepower Odyssey, says Cody Claxton. Last time I drove the Odyssey was with Jonathan, the family, and I, and went to the Fuel Fest event, which is like 2.5 weeks ago. And the wagon, I haven't driven the wagon since early in the year, unfortunately. Hello, Chrissy GTR. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you here on Instagram for participating in this. Sao, ciao, David032. Thank you so much for joining from overseas as well. It was last year, me and my friend pulled up to the shop because we were at an Audi networking class. And I remember Manus N332. Appreciate you guys come by. I think I had the pink Porsche out here in the back of the shop at that time too. Thank you so much. I do remember you. Are you going to the GTR Festival in Texas in the fall? I have a conflict, so I don't think I'll be able to go to that one. Forgive me indeed. But maybe things will change. You never know. Maybe you, with Nissan's help, because we're starting to develop a good relationship with Nissan, maybe I'll be out there. I'll keep you posted on my calendar. George Quattro Valvole says, since you're saving some classics like 935 or the VW bus behind you, have you considered also saving some classic Alphas? I have. Now, my good friend and father to, I would say father, but godfather to my son, Ralph Gilles, he works for Stellantis, is a big Alpha freak. And I've helped him with his Alphas as well on the petrol side. He has an Alpha that he tracks with a S2000, yes, he has an F22C engine in one of them. I think the classic albums are awesome, and it's something that I have in the back of my mind to explore. So yes, I would like to do that. I really would like to. And guys, just for those of you who are diehard petrol heads like I was, and I still love petrol cars, but I'm really moving towards this whole upcycling movement. The 935 that I built was a car that was owned by the previous president of the Porsche Owners Club of Southern California. And that car was in his father's house, destined to never see the road again. And with modern technology, we're able to bring that back, and it's fun and it's treatable. It's the first one of its kind ever on the street. So that being said, means of propulsion is just a way to have fun. I am not, I'll repeat myself, I am not an advocate of boring EVs at all. I don't care about those EVs that make 70 horsepower. I don't care about, even my Model 3 that I drive here, it's really quiet. It's like a base one, not really fast. I don't care, my Plaid is awesome, but it is very sterile inside. So I'm not a big fan of factory Econobox EVs. Even my Kona is more fun than that. Front wheel drive, I can smoke the tires, that's great. I can't smoke the tires on my Model 3, it kind of sucks. But when it comes to taking a van like this that makes 450 electric horsepower and stomping on it, that thing will scare the crap out of you. I like that. I like having fun. And I don't care if it's hydrogen, gasoline, steam, ethanol, electric, hybrid. As long as it's decent for our environment and a lot of fun, I'm all about it. So guys, just want to let you know that's kind of my mantra. I'm not just doing things for, I just want to have fun. I'm telling you, you drive that pink and gray 935, it changed your mind. It's ridiculous. I had people from, what is that outfit? I had people from, wow, I'm trying to think of this one magazine. What is the most difficult one that I can think of that really had a hard time? Mark C. Media came here, and he was from EA, and he came to cover the gray and pink 935 because he was told to do it. You need to cover this from Speed Hunters, and that's the way to go. And these guys came here talking crap. This is stupid. I don't know what you do. I'm like, guys, just after we do the shoot, just drive it. And they drove it, and they changed. Okay. I need to post this video. Maybe I'll do it in my Flashback Friday, or Throwback Thursday. I have football players who are hardcore Porsche petrol guys. NFL players come here to the shop, drive the K3V. These are grown men, football players who their livelihood is on being bold and aggressive. They drove that thing, and that thing tamed them. They're like, dude, that should not even be on the street. It is crazy. It's scary. And I need to post that so you guys can see. So I'm telling you, I just love fun stuff. And it doesn't matter what means of propulsion, as long as it's fun, I am so down, you know? Easy says, Bo, please gift me at least a cheap car. Gift you a car. I can gift you a Hot Wheel, but a proper vehicle, cars are very expensive. I don't have the capability, I wish I could, but I don't have the capability of gifting a car. So I appreciate your enthusiasm, but it's not something I can do at this time. Please forgive me, you know? Corvold, brother, what are you doing? This guy builds the stuff that he's giving away. Thank you, Corvold. He's correct. And Corvold can attest to how hard it is to build these cars, especially to a certain level. It's a lot of work. It really is. Texas Holyfield, hello, long time. Hopefully you're good. Have you ever used any specialty locking intake manifold bolts? Are ARP preferred on high temperature setups? Would something like Mr. Gasket bolts work better? I'm currently running generic bolts. Yes, I'm all about ARP. The ARP bolts are amazing. The tensile strength, the yield capabilities, it's amazing. Don't even think ARP. Everything in here, from electric petrol, ARP, by all means. Don't even play around, Texas. Do it. You will not regret it indeed, you know? How to find time outside of TV shows, social media content, Bisimoto business, and your family. You must have every minute planned. No Haven, I appreciate your sentiment. It is difficult. I don't know if Lambda Menace is still here, but he did pull me aside at Fuel Fest and talk to me about really having time for myself, which I really don't. But you're correct. Doing tele stuff, interacting with all of you, my family from all across the world, taking care of the business here, and Lindsay looks at me almost daily like, what is wrong with you, BC? Like, you take up so much and it's so crazy as you continue. Having family, I have my parents visiting who I love. I had my first Father's Day with my father since the 80s this past Sunday, which was great. I don't have every minute planned, but every minute is pretty packed. And despite that, family is first. God is first. And that being said, I do whatever I can to spend time with my family, my significant other, my parents, my children. I just do need to do that. So that being said, I appreciate once again the sentiment. It's tough, but I promise, like I promised Lambda Menace, I will take some time for myself and try and relax and unwind. I promise. But thank you so much. So that being said, guys, it is 40 minutes past, so they're gonna shut me down very soon. But I appreciate each and every one of you experiencing this time with me. I will be here next week, hopefully in this location, maybe a different surprising location. But thank you so much for everything you've done to support me. Thank you for all the great questions, for the interaction. I see some great questions coming here from TikTok, and I would love to explore that next time. I think there's a question here about do driving EVs hurt you? So we'll talk about that next week. But nonetheless, thank you. Good seeing each and every one of you. Have a safe balance of the week and look forward to interacting with you next week as well. Take care. Cheers.